Hello, good morning. I'm going to do a video today about my weight loss. I mentioned it in a previous video, and I had some people that were interested in how I did it. And I just can walk you through what I did and what has worked for me. And we'll just start from there. So my first thing that I would like to say is that it's all in your head. It has to start here. It has to start with you wanting to make the most of your life and get healthy. And the first thing that I did was I got a walking pad. It's like a treadmill, but it's not got all the bells and whistles on it. It's just simply a walking pad. It does have a handle on it because, you know, I'm a little older. So just for stability, I got that one. And when I first started using it, which was in, I think, January, I had been the previous, like a year ago, so in the fall, I had extreme hip pain on the right side. When I would get up from sitting down, I would limp for a little while until I could work it out. And I had foot pain on the other side that I just could not get a handle on. And I thought, well, this walking pad is here and I'm still in pain, so, you know, what am I gonna do? So I got up on the daggone thing and literally could walk 3 minutes on it. But 3 minutes was more than I had done in a long, long time, just steady, straight walking. And miraculously, I kept getting up on that thing and I would add a minute, push myself to 5 minutes total, just little bits at a time. I wasn't too worried about pressuring myself because I didn't want to injure myself because I did have that hip pain and everything. But the more I used the walking pad, the less and less my foot and hip hurt until they were very, like within a week, healed up and didn't hurt anymore at all. So I don't know what that was about. I can only assume that I needed to get up off the couch and exercise more because it helped. So after that, that kind of put a fire under me to want to, you know, do a little bit more with myself because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was a slug. I just sat on the couch. I'd make the occasional trip to Walmart and go shopping on occasion. I was eating, if I'm honest with you and myself, I was eating entirely too much, way too big of portions, not counting anything. And the other major thing that I was doing was I was drinking too much. I would have a cocktail or two pretty much every night, and I was looked at the calorie content of, like, you know, vodka or whatever, and it's at like, I think 100 calories. So I was like, 100 calories, that's, but you know, if you're having 2 drinks a night, that's 200 extra calories after you've eaten more than you should have throughout the whole day. And it adds up because I never thought that alcohol was that fattening, but it is. It is hugely, hugely fattening. So I had that realization that I had to, you know, accept that, you know, you're going to have to get, you know, something else to do in the evening because it was just something we did. So that's been cut out. That was cut out in March. And the doctor called shortly after that because I'd had some blood work. And he said, your sugar's too high, your weight's too high, and you're going to have, your blood pressure's too high, and you're going to have to do something about these things. Well, I had already started, you know, on the walking pad. Walking is the best exercise you can do. And so that reduced somewhat my sugar just by getting the exercise. It reduced my blood pressure somewhat, again, just by the exercise. And I was starting to lose weight because I had got on the internet, and I wrote this down for you if you want to look it up. I Googled calorie allowance deficit, So I wanted to put myself in a calorie deficit daily, and I didn't know how much that would be. So when you Google one of these, sites, it'll ask for your height, weight, um, goal weight, lifestyle, and you calculate all that in, and then it will spit out for you. Most of them are free. How many calories you should have per day to lose weight. So I did that, and so it gave me, I think, oh, let's see, where am I at? I think it gave me 1250 a day to lose weight, 1,250 calories a day, and then I should lose weight. I took off of that number, and I only allowed myself 1,230 calories, I think. And it's in my phone, and I'm recording on my phone, so I can't be exact, but you get the idea that, I was consuming less calories than the Google thing said that I should have in order to lose weight. Now, don't get crazy. You really don't want to try and lose 2 pounds a week. That's a lot, and that's hard, and you're going to give up, and you're just going to throw in the towel. You won't see any movement on the scale. I recommend not weighing for the first month, even if you can. I mean, you're going to have to weigh, to get started, so you know where you're starting at. But you're not going to see any movement for a little bit. And it was frustrating. And I was doing all these things, and I was like, just stick to it, just stick to it. A lot of talking to myself. A lot of, you can do this, like pep talks to myself. And then I got back on the scale at, I don't know, 3.5, 4 weeks, and I had lost 5 pounds. And you can feel 5 pounds. People might not notice 5 pounds on you that's gone, but you can feel it. And so that really boosted my, my goal, my desire to keep going. I walked on a walking pad every single day. If I could do 10 minutes, I did 10 minutes. If I could do 20, I did 20. And, in February, I'm going to be 70, and I can't believe that comes out of my mouth, but it's the truth. I have to accept it. So there are days that are better than other days. I have arthritis, and it's getting worse, but I do what I can do. And that's what I told my doctor. Look, I'm doing what I can do and pushing a little more. So in the meantime, everything I put in my mouth, I was calculating and adding up on a piece of paper, like through like Google or something, or Safari, and I would put that I had a piece of bread, and I'd look up the piece of bread, and that became a huge pain in the neck. So I found an app. It's called Trimmy, Trimmi, in the App Store. And it was $39 for the year. Now, I know some of you are going to say, oh, well, you could use MyFitnessPal for free. Okay, that's wonderful. If you can get something like that for free, you go for it. I got on MyFitnessPal. I thought I signed up for the free thing. And before I knew it, I was in for $79 a year. I don't know if it was them or me. I've heard it's kind of a scam. So this one works for me. It doesn't have a lot of, it's got everything I need. It'll log my activity, it'll log my calories, it'll add them up for me through the day. It'll tell me if I'm getting too much fat, I'm getting too much carbs. So that's all I wanted. So then I can just go in and like in the morning, and I can hit breakfast, and I can put, okay, well, I had rye toast. I had 1 piece. I add that. I had a zero sugar yogurt. That's 80 calories. I add that. It's already, knows how much because I've already added it in. So it adds it up for me through the day. My favorite snack is a cracker called Flips. And I just am addicted to them. I can have 10 of those for 140 calories. And if I need a little extra, I'll add Baby Bell cheese a light Baby Bell cheese or a light cheese stick to it. And then that's when I will enjoy my Zero Coke, or my Coke Zero, or Diet Coke, whatever you have. I have one of those every day, every other. But for the most part, I've got a big jug of water with me, and I put the drink enhancer in it. And my favorite one, if you want to try it, is the Great Value Pineapple Mango, I believe it's called. It's pretty tart, so if you like tart, it really, you know, adds a lot of flavor. A couple of squirts in there with my water, and I'll have 2 or 3 of those a day. So if I can fit in a Diet Coke and I want a treat, then I'll have a Diet Coke. What else did I want to tell you guys? Oh, some of my favorite foods. So I found that I was skipping lunch a lot because I didn't know what to eat, and salads get old. And so I did some research, and I like chicken, and I like chicken fingers. So I got some chicken fingers and their chicken nuggets too, broiled, put them in the air fryer. And it says it's like 260 calories for 4 ounces. I got a scale, a food scale. I weighed out. I did this at first. I don't anymore because I visually know how much about 4 ounces is. And I'd weigh out 4 ounces, and then I'd put that 260 in my app and count that, and have some cottage cheese on the side, and that would be lunch, and it would keep me full until dinner. You know, portion control is big. I count what I count. First and foremost, I count calories. My whole life, that's what has helped me lose weight, is counting calories, not counting carbs, not counting anything else. Counting calories has always been the secret for me to lose weight. But beyond that, I have to watch my sugars. So I do count calories first, look at sugar content on everything that I buy and eat, and carbs and sugars are hand in hand. So if it's got like less than 1% sugar, it's going to have the same amount of that for carbs, I think. I use sugar-free coffee creamer. Anything that's sugar-free that I can add in to my daily is what I will choose. Because why get something loaded with sugar when you don't have to? And it really doesn't taste. I mean, you can't taste the difference, in my opinion, especially things like coffee creamer. Now, just because it's sugar-free doesn't mean that it's calorie-free. So you got to count calories with that. Because I think sugar-free creamer is still 15 calories for, what, 2 tablespoons or something like that. Let's see. So I would eat better for lunch then, because at first I was like, oh Lord, that's 260 calories plus cottage cheese. That's a lot for lunch, but it's not. It's not. When I was very, very young, I had issues, food issues. That's, you know, I don't want to get in trouble here on YouTube. So I have to be cognizant that, you know, I could slide back down that hill. And I was. So I got a handle on it, realized I needed to eat lunch, and we're all good. So I have lost 24, almost 25 pounds. And it's taken me since March. Yes, that seems like a long time, but I'm doing it the natural way. I'm not doing it with any kind of drug. And now I can't overeat, because if I try to eat too much, my stomach's like, nope, you are done. And I can eat, like tonight, I'm going to make Eckrich smoked sausages. I cut them up and put them on parchment paper. I cut up some of those little small potatoes, and I cut up an onion or whatever vegetables, maybe carrots, put them all in a sheet pan, bake them, and I can eat that, and I don't measure anything out, because I know I can have like 3 or 4 of those small potatoes for whatever calorie count is in my app. And I mean, you fall into like, oh, I know I can have this and I know I can't have that. For a sweet treat, once in a while, because you just really need to munch, Reese's peanut butter cups, sugar-free dark chocolate are my go-to. Again, sugar-free, but they have calories. So I think a serving size is 3 for a certain amount of calories. So if I really need something sweet, I have 1. So you can do whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want. You just can't eat as much as you're used to eating. And you have to watch what you're putting in your body, because I mean, I'm not young anymore. My metabolism is shot, and it takes a lot to move the scale. So it's taken me a while. But all in all, I feel great. I feel stronger. And I feel healthier. And if I find myself just sitting on the couch, this is the great thing about this walking pad. If I find myself just sitting on the couch and I'm getting uncomfortable and I'm getting bored and everything, and there's really not anything else for me to do, I can come in here, hop on the walking pad, and turn the TV on and watch a video or two and just walk. And I'm getting some exercise, and it's all good. So, I don't know. I think that is all that I had written down for you. If you have any questions, leave them for me and I'll answer them. But basically, this is just what worked for me. And everybody has their middle ground, their point where they know what's going to work for them and they know what to do and how to count. I mean, it's all an individual thing. Like what works for me may not work for you. And I would hear people, I would watch diet videos and I'd hear people say that, and I'd be like, yeah, but it is true. It is absolutely true. So again, put yourself in a calorie deficit daily. Get an app because it keeps you on track, and you can go from there. I mean, you're smart, increased exercise, decrease weight. So I'm not done losing weight, but it's coming off slowly, and I haven't had a day where I just said, this is my cheat day, because I don't believe in cheat days. I believe, or at least for me, again, if I do a cheat day, then the next day I'm going to say, well, I cheated yesterday, I might as well cheat today. So I don't do that. I don't do cheat days. So, but if we have pizza one night, I'll have a piece of pizza. So I'm not depriving myself. You got to remember that too. You cannot deprive yourself when you're dieting, or you'll just throw in the towel. Anyway, I think that's it. Thanks for listening, and leave any questions for me down below. And I'll see you in the next one.